Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I am Valiantly Victorious. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I really appreciate all your love and support. Before I jump into anything about this video, guys, I would love it if you guys would subscribe, like, and comment on this video. It helps me in the algorithm to share my content. And we're almost to 100 subscribers, only 3 people away, so let's get those subscribers up. So today's video is specifically an assignment for women. I don't know, God never really kind of puts my heart on a specific gender, but this is an important topic that he wants me to talk about with you guys, and it's all about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, guys. So here's the definition of emotional intelligence. So guys, I actually talked about this before, maybe coming up on a year ago on my blog. I always link it down below. I don't post there as often anymore, but the resources there are super vital and super key for walking out an abundant and favorable life with God. So basically, it was called the emotional formula. The things that built up and caused me to have emotional outbursts or made me look quote unquote crazy, or just a buildup of emotions that I had been suppressing and either expressing and not getting the results that I wanted, or just why did I overall come to these messes of life when it came to the way that I felt. So this is what this video is going to be about today, addressing that and giving a solution to this kind of problem. So basically, I know that you guys could probably relate. I'm sure that you've had conflict in your life. We've all had at least one estranged relationship or just conflict in general with somebody, whether it be our mothers, our fathers, our baby daddies, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, whatever it may be. I know that this is something that you guys would be able to appeal to kind of in that area when it comes to communication, when it comes to understanding, or just when it comes to how we felt about a situation. I want to start off by saying that, guys, emotional intelligence is key if we want to have an abundant and successful life. The woman that God is calling us to be is not a woman who cannot sustain and control and contain her emotions and manage them properly. That's not the woman that's living an abundant, sustained, controlled life. Okay? We have to operate on that level and within that frequency. When we have emotional intelligence, we leave room and we create a space intentionally, because it's not something that's effortlessly, it's intentionally that we create a space where God's hand is able to maneuver through a situation so that it can have the best and the most healthiest result. I wanted to start off by the root of these issues. I think the root of these issues is basically determined by our expectations, the expectations that we have in our relationships. I've struggled with this personally in my life, with learning how to be a woman and learning how to be a partner in a parenthood or just in a relationship in general. And I think that obviously when you're close and when you're connected with people, there are going to be clashes and conflicts because we don't always think the exact same way. And that's normal, that's expectant. But when it hurts us, when our hope was in a person to do something and it disappoints us, it offends us, or it hurts us, we're disappointed in their character, we expected better of them. And it's so very easy to, you know, allow those times where we looked over it and didn't say anything to build up, because they're not understanding us, or they're not understanding why we mean what we mean, or why do they keep disappointing us in this area, and we deserve better, and all of these different things. And all of that is very true, but sis, how many relationships are you going to cut off before you actually learn how to work through these problems? These problems and these expectations and these disappointments are human. So the easiest thing for us to do would be for us to lash out, let them have it, give them a piece of our mind, let them know how we feel, because the world tells us all the time that our emotions are valid, that they deserve to be heard. We all want to be heard. That's a normal human desire, for us to be heard, for us to feel heard. It's normal. It's wired in us because we want to be heard from our creator. It's a totally different thing for why the design is the way that it is, but it's not for what we're thinking. And so this is the area that I really want to address for people who are really struggling within these areas with, why don't I get the outcome of what it is that I want when I'm trying to live an abundant and healthy life. The things that you desire and you're expecting are not necessarily bad things or unhealthy things. They could be things that are the best for you. They could be the things that are best for your family, for your mindset, for your mentality. These all take in effect, and I'm not saying that they're bad things. You just have to know how to handle them properly. Good desires can turn into bad things if you mismanage them. And it's our responsibility as women, with how powerful and influential that we are, we must handle them with care so that they can be planted and rooted in the right space on good ground so that they can grow and we can have full, abundant, successful lives. Okay, but back into my points. Usually when we give people a piece of our mind, it usually tends to make things worse. It either causes more strife and conflict or space and division within the relationship, or it either just defeats us because we even had to go to such a low level. It's not something that we feel good about, emotional and crazy outbursts or whatever the case may be. It may not even be that crazy. It may just you saying how you feel and not getting the results that you want. So guys, you know I'm gonna always tie the Bible in. This is even biblical, guys. It says that if we allow anger or emotion to control us, we give the enemy foothold over the situation. So this is why we don't get the outcomes that we were expecting by saying what we felt on the inside. So what else do we do with these emotions? Humans are not big enough for our entire existence. Your husband, your boyfriend, your baby daddy, he's not gonna understand you completely 100% fully. That's God's job. He's the biggest entity that can handle the parts of us that are ugly, the parts of us that we don't understand, the parts of us that we need wisdom and knowledge and reason and it's poured into us in. We have to give him that room. How do we create that space? We go to him when we feel those negative emotions, when we feel those things building up, when we feel like we need to lash it out and release it onto our spouses or our boyfriends or our partners. When we feel that way, we must submit it to God. He's the only one big enough to handle it, and it's the only way that we're going to receive a healthy outcome in the end, because we give him that room, because we give him that space. He pours into us the peace that we need to settle our hearts, the understanding that we need to hear the rest of what he has to say about the situation, and just to pour into us, because emotions fluctuate and they don't last always. I'm sure that in 1999 on January such and such, you were sad on a Monday, but today you're not sad. Like, if that's the craziest comparison or metaphor, whatever, that I could give you, that emotions are not the same. You've been happy, you've been sad, you've been up, you've been down. Emotions fluctuate. Making decisions, lashing out, that's a decision that you cannot take back. That's something that you would have to do even more work to work back from, to get back to a healthier place from what you should have done in the beginning. My encouragement is that we turn to God always in every single thing that we do, and we're led in discussion by him. If it's something that we need to bring up again, then God will create the opportunity when that person is ready to receive, because it's very important to understand that just because you feel it doesn't mean that person is going to be receptive. It depends on what that other human being is going through in their time in their life and where God has positioned their mind and their their mindsets and their hearts to see if they're ready to receive that information. I think that this type of control over our emotions as women is powerful. It's not the easiest thing to do, and functioning in that kind of intentionality and in that kind of purpose is what we need to be working towards if we're going to continue to have victory in every area of our life. I don't want you guys to have strife in your relationships with your baby daddies, with your boyfriends, and cutting every single relationship that God could fully have his hands in and have his work in to grow you, to shape you, to mold you into the woman that he has called you to be. And I think that this is a challenge of maturity and a challenge of understanding and a challenge of really changing your perspective and renewing your mind when it comes to your emotions and how you feel about anything, so that we don't end up being the ones that's looking crazy, because it's not worth it. They don't need a piece of your mind. You're going to make the situation worse. It literally is a biblical principle that when we do that, when we allow emotion to control us, you hand over control to the devil for that situation. It's impossible. Life has a design, and when it flows in the motion with God's word, you can't do things out of order and expect them to function in order. I want to wrap this video up by just letting you guys know that I'm not 100% successful in this area. I think it's the kindness of God to bring this up at the right time while I'm young. I'm just 24 years old. At the right time within my life, for my circumstances, for everything, to be addressing this area. Because the woman that he's calling me to be is not just, you know, this YouTuber. It's a lot bigger than that. And it's on a much larger scale. And it's going to be. And I can't carry those unhealthy habits and characteristic traits with me into the future. So I just encourage you women, we will as women practice emotional intelligence. Our emotions will no longer control the way that we move and by the decisions that we make. We are divinely led by God, and we have the space to surrender the negative emotions, to surrender anything that we are feeling, the discomfort, the discontentment, anything that we are feeling, the disappointments, that we have the space to surrender it to God and submit those things to God. And we give God room to pour back into us health so that we can have an outpour and an outflow of that health. And it affects every area of our life, so that our relationships can be healthy, so that our households can be healthy, so that our families can be healthy, so that our children can see healthy examples of their mother killing it. Literally killing it and being successful and obtaining victory in every area of her life. Because having unrealistic expectations on another human being is not fair. But allowing the situation to be what it is, and allowing that person to be the best person that God created them to be, and you be the best person that God created you to be, that's health. So that's it. I love you guys to life, and I pray that you enjoyed this video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.